Boys and girls, cats and squirrels, welcome back. And today we're just going to talk football, we're going to talk basketball, we're just going to talk sports here. So it's technically Tuesday Touchdown Talks, but I was more in the mood to talk basketball. So I didn't want to deprive you guys of necessarily the Tuesday Touchdown Talks stuff. But I'm just going to talk about a little bit of everything because that's what I want to do. So if you guys enjoy, make sure to like, sub, leave a comment down below. And as always, don't forget to be a goat. And let's get into it. So let's just start off by saying NFL is kind of wrapping up, but not really. You know, we're relatively to the point in the season where we know what teams are gonna be like. So, for example, the Packers are going to be a mid team. They are not going to be a really intense playoff contender as far as most people are concerned. That is always, subject to change, but I don't think they're going to be any good, which is okay because I thought just as long as the Packers go about 500, maybe a game over, I'd be happy. So that's what I got, and that's what I expected. And right now, we're 2 games under 500 technically, but realistically, we got a okay schedule, a couple divisional games yet, and honestly, I think we have a chance to go about 500. That's what I want. So that's just my favorite team in the NFL. Let's just recap the most big teams. The Eagles-Chiefs game yesterday. Eagles pulled out a victory because the Chiefs can't catch the damn ball. And the Eagles they're not going to stop scoring points even when they're playing terribly. The Vikings, the Pasternaut was took back down to earth, and unfortunately their streak that they were on there is ended against the Broncos. They were on I think they were on a 5-game win streak or something like that. And they lost to the Broncos. The Vikings did. So unfortunate for them. But the Broncos are 500 now, interestingly enough. You would not have thought that going into this season, or even really at any point in time during this season, because of how bad they were playing, but they got there. They have a chance to compete. And interesting. The Dolphins still don't look like the Dolphins that we saw earlier this season, but that's okay. And then, I don't know, let's just talk about one more big game. I'm not sure which one I want to talk about here. What teams are the most popular? Screw it. The Lions are pretty nutty right now. They squeak out a tight one against the Bears, which, interestingly enough, the Lions play the Packers on Thanksgiving in 2 days. So that's going to be a fun game to watch, in my opinion, because, the Lions last time whooped the Packers, but it felt like they had a chance to come back at some point in time there if they made the right plays. They didn't, so they didn't win that game, but it felt like they were gaining some momentum against that Lions team at one point in time, and it could be an interesting game. The Bears, on the other hand, they got Justin Fields back. They just got to feel happy that they have a QB right now that's playing okay, that isn't an undrafted rookie. And that trade between the Panthers and the Bears might be one of the literal worst of all time because of how bad DJ Moore is playing, how bad Bryce Young's playing, and how bad both teams are this year. Then again, we don't know how it's going to turn out in the long run, so can't really compare yet to other bad trades, such as the Deshaun Watson trade, which now that Deshaun Watson's out, it basically got Matt Canada fired, so I'd say the Steelers are happy. So now that we're done with the half here of this Retro Bowl game, let's talk basketball, because basketball is getting into full effect, and I've been really enjoying watching it, not only because, just basketball's a fun game to watch, in my opinion, with all the dunks and everything, it's just so much fun, in my opinion. Stop the clock there. But my Bucks are slowly but surely creeping up back to, high competition in the Eastern Conference. They play the Celtics on Wednesday, so literally tomorrow. for basically the most important game of the year so far for either team. And that's going to be probably one of the most fun games to watch this season. Or so far this season, rather. Because, I mean, genuinely, those teams right now, the Celtics, they need a comeback game, and the Bucks are about the hottest team in the NBA right now. So it's going to be fun to watch, I think. The Sixers, they haven't played in a hot minute here, but I think they might play tonight in a I wanted to say play-in for some reason. No, it's the in-season tournament game. I believe they're playing tonight. And I'm not sure who they would play against, but they're really good right now without James Harden, which is quite surprising to me. I thought that, they would not be quite as good as they are right now, but they have been playing really good ball, which has been interesting. The Pistons are one of the most disappointing teams in the league, other than maybe the Cavs right now, because the Cavs are kind of like dookie water as well. They're kind of just mid right now. They've been facing a lot of injuries, to be fair, but still, they're just not performing to the standards we expected of them. And then, out east, I guess the other most disappointing team is probably, the Hornets are definitely disappointing. They somehow beat the Celtics last night, like I said, in overtime. Realistically, LaMelo Ball cheated their way to a win. I don't want to say cheated, but he didn't get an offensive call, like an offensive foul called on him that definitely should have been called. So, Celtics fans, I may kind of hate the Celtics, but honestly, without Marcus Smart, I don't mind them. Marcus Smart was probably my least favorite player on the Celtics for just the reason that he was kind of just a butthole. His green hair and just the attitude he had on the court, he was just a menace, man. And it pissed me off because, there was no reason for him to be as good as he was, but he was that good. Also, I thought he was taking Drew Holiday or Brook Lopez's DPOY. I didn't think he deserved it last year, not gonna lie. But whatever. And then out west, the Nuggets, they were the hottest team in the league for a while there, other than maybe the Heat, because the Heat were on a 7-game win streak until they lost to the Bulls, then to go back and whoop their butts the next game. But the Nuggets, 9-4, they're 10-4 now, I think, because they beat the Pistons, but barely. To be fair, the Bucks barely beat the Pistons earlier this year as well. But, if you look at it from this perspective, the freaking Nuggets kind of look a little cold right now. They do not look like themselves. But I don't think they had Jokic last night, so that's kind of why they weren't as good. Then again, I got to give them the benefit of the doubt in saying they are the reigning champions, just like how I did to the Bucks, and realistically we did to the Warriors. Just trust them to make it work, and if they don't, when they don't, that's when you criticize them. You can't, poop on their grave until they're in it. So the Lakers in the West are surprisingly mid. In my opinion, I thought Austin Reeves would be a little bit better, and I just thought their team would be a little bit more cohesive, I think. I thought Anthony Davis would be able to take the torch that LeBron tried to pass to him. That was a lie. The media and LeBron lied to us, and Anthony Davis did as well, trying to tell us that he's actually good at basketball. Nah, that's a lie, man. Bro cannot score on a consistent basis. At least as a number one option, that is. He can score relatively okay, but he's not a number one. And it's kind of disappointing because, everyone expected him to maybe even be the next face of the league. And LeBron wanted it to happen, and now it's LeBron just keeping on, making that team happen. That's the only reason they're doing it. I think he's been dropping 35 a night consistently. I think he's the number one scorer in the fourth quarter in the league right now. I think Giannis is number 4. I think Tatum might be up there too. A couple other guys are there. I saw a graphic of that because, why wouldn't I? I'm just kind of obsessed with basketball right now. And then, out west, the Thunder are really impressing me, but they were kind of my number 2 team to root for. I just really thought they were a fun-looking team, like to play. Or I thought they were a fun team, and so they were kind of just my backup team. Like I really do like the Bucks, but the Thunder are really fun to watch right now. So that's something. Jacksonville is still 9-0 in this simulation world in Retro Bowl. But anyways, the NBA is pretty fun, and so is the NFL. Didn't want to talk about everything too much today because I've kind of been burnt out on football recently. But basketball has been, getting me back into sports and kind of making me enjoy football a lot more too. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, sub, leave a comment down below, and as always, don't forget to be Goat, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.